Going to talk to you guys today about an important change that has happened to the USMLE Step 1 scoring system. Um, and we'll focus on the impact of this on the international medical grad and non-USA medical students. As you know, if you are preparing now for you to take your USMLE Step 1, in 2020 or 2021, this shouldn't affect you. But if you are planning to take your USMLE Step 1 in 2022, the scoring system will not be a 3 digits. It will be only pass and fail result. If you go to the USMLE website, you will see a lot of details about this change. And this is not the only change. You will see other changes. So there is 3 major changes. The most major one is changing of the scoring system for step 1 to a pass and fail score. The second change that they announced is the USMLE attempt will be limited to 4. And the third change is you cannot take your CS exam before step 1 exam, and I think that's fair. But let us focus now on the major change, which will be the change of the test result for USMLE step 1 from 3 digits score to just fail and pass result. The website for the usmle.org having a lot of information, update, issues, and outcome about this change. And most importantly, they reported how they came up with this change, and they heard a lot of voices in the last year, at least from medical students, from residents, from international medical grads and faculty, and they hosted several meetings and discussed this in details. And they came up with this because the advantage of the new system is more than the advantage of the old system. They posted also the pros and cons of each one. Mainly the advantage of the old system is, as you know, it's highly reliable test and it's objective assessment for students and international medical grads, and it mitigates the reliability of challenges between medical schools, especially overseas. It also stimulates the medical students and the examinees to focus more and to put more efforts and to study hard. But the major problem with this system, it changes the whole system from a qualitative assessment of the candidate to a quantitative assessment. So everybody was racing to get 250, 260 in the exam, and this limit the medical students to focus on their learning process. As you know, majority of US medical students are taking their USMLE Step 1 exam during their first year of medical students. So working very hard on this test will limit their ability to learn and focus in their classes. Another important issue is the major stress and frustration that has, to be done with this system. So they try to alleviate this frustration and stress. And also, it doesn't mean that you're getting very good score in USMLE Step 1 that you'll be a good doctor or a better doctor, and it doesn't correlate very well with the clinical performance of the resident and the trainees. So now they decided to move on, and they are going to change the scoring system for USMLE Step 1 to pass and fail results starting not before January 2022. So you still have 2 years for this issue. As you know, USMLE Step 1 has been the most important test, maybe in whole resident and physician's life. And they used to put a lot of effort on that. The weight for the USMLE Step 1 was much higher than any other grades or scores, including USMLE Step 3 So now, as you know, that especially for IMGs, they used to study harder for Step 1. The average study time for Step 1 for IMGs was about 12 to 18 months, compared only to 6 to 10 months for preparation of USMLE Step 2 CK. So now you will save about 6 months or so if you just want to pass the test starting from 2022 and you're not racing to get very, very good score. So now you can relocate the time and the efforts used to spend and USMLE Step 1 to other things. So most importantly, you can have this time to do United States clinical rotation. You can get a recommendation letter, and you don't have to have a stress, and you don't have to suffer from this anxiety and the frustration to get very good scores. So the well-being for the resident and for the applicants and for medical students will be better. So you cannot have healthy patients without having healthy, and mentally sound physician. So to take care of the physician well-beings and mental health is very important. Both the NBME and FSMB, they came in with this conclusion, and they said if students reduce the time and effort devoted for preparation of Step 1 exam, they may indeed devote attention to other activities that will prepare them to be a good physician rather than just to be a good speaker, to be a good clinician. So this was the main issue why they moved to the pass and fail scoring system. And as you know, in the last 10 years or so, there was a tremendous increase in the efforts and resources that applicants used to put to get good score. This put a lot of financial burden and stress for the test takers. So now you don't have to deal with this, and you just need to focus on passing the Step 1 exam and focus on other things rather than devoting a lot of efforts and time for Step 1 exam. Step 1 exam made a rift in the medical education. A lot of students opt to disengage from institutional curricula in favor of intensive exam preparation, and are rewarded with a high Step 1 scores, but this might affected their learning process. Also, this impacted disparities. So as you know, the IMGs used to get lower score for USMLE Step 1 compared to the US medical students, and also getting very high score in Step 1 used to dictate what program and what specialty you go to. So this a lot of stress, and also now you can save your money and put it on doing rotation and activities that help your application and help you also to be a good doctor. So a major impact on well-being for the applicant and for the medical student and the resident by alleviating this USMLE three-digit scoring system. But now, the match is very competitive, and it's just you need to relocate your efforts and your resources. So you need to do better in your clerkship. You need to find good mentors and do a real good research and observerships and electives to improve your resume for the application. Doing research is very important, especially clinical research rather than basic research. And now you will have time to publish, because sometimes you do research, but it takes time to write manuscript and publish articles. So now I think this will give you more time to do clinical rotation, clinical research, publish some articles, and to get connection and get to know more mentors and get exposed to the clinical real life that will help your future as a physician. The school that you came in from, the medical school you came in from, probably will impact your future career and everything in your application, but you cannot fix that. But you can fix the research activities and the clinical rotation that you can do to improve your chance for the match. Now, also one of the major advantage of this is you need to focus in step 2 CK. The clinical knowledge is much important than the basic sciences at step 1 exam. I mean, to be very good in LHA haplotypes or protein synthesis, it's not really going to affect you as a physician, but to know how to manage, how to diagnose, and how to treat disease is very important. So now you need to relocate part of your time to focus more on step 2 CK. I'm thinking and anticipating that it will be more competitive. The USMLE step 2, the 3-digit score will go higher. Maybe you need to set up your bars higher. Instead of getting 230 or 240, you need to get 250 or maybe 260, because the weight of the step 2 CK 3-digit score to get to the match and to match is very important now. There will be a larger cultural difference, and the high stressful situation will be gone. You don't have to deal with the frustration of getting bad score for step 1. You just need to pass step 1. And now you need to be a good physician and to improve your match rate and your clinical performance. You need to learn more effectively. You need to be a better test taker, and you need to focus on your clerkship. Let me now give you some information and good news about the result of the IMGs in the match. The reference for this is from the 2020 main residency match, and it's charting outcomes in the match for the IMGs. I will share with you some information. The 2019 residency match was the largest among all years. There was about 5% increase in the match, and also the chance for the international medical student to succeed in the match is better. As you see, over years, there has been increase in all applicants and the VGY1 slots. And for the IMGs, there is increase in the number of IMGs and the match rate for IMGs. Last year, 2019, the match rate for the IMGs was up to 58% from 56% in 2018. And also there has been an incremental improvement in the match rate for the IMGs in the last 10 years or so. As you know, now it's only 30 days left for the match day. So in 30 days from now, applicants would know if they match or not. And I hope the best for the applicant who interviewed this year, and hopefully we'll hear from them next month about their result and their match. Very important, this graphs, I want you to focus on the red curve here. As you see, this is the non-US IMGs. That's the non-United States international medical grads, and their chance of matching in the last at least 10 years or so. There has been improvement in their chances from less than 50. It was down to about 40% in 2010. And now 2019, it's up to 58%. So very good news. I want you to focus on this, and your chance of getting residency in United States is very good if you focus and get good score and do whatever you're supposed to do. Uh, so your chance is 58%, but if you didn't get matched this year, you can work on your application, your performance, your CV, do more rotations and get better recommendation letter. Then when you enter the match next year, you can improve your chance maybe from 58 to 60s or 70%. Let us focus now on this non-US IMGs, the 4,000 IMGs that matched in 2019. So if you have more interviews, if you rank more programs, your chance will be higher for the match. And if you are focused on only on one specialty, this will be helpful. This is the step one mean USMLE score for the applicant who matched. It was 234 compared to 221 for the IMG's applicant who didn't match. You didn't have to focus on this anymore if you are taking your test after 2022. But here you see the USMLE Step 2, the CK exam, the mean score for the matched applicants were around 240s, and for the unmatched applicants were around 228. Now you need to focus on this more and to improve this. Probably this will go, I anticipate this will go up in the next couple of years after changing the three-score system to pass and fail for step one. So people will focus more on the CK, and the bar will be higher. So, focus on this. Just 12 from 40 to 20 is the mean for matched and unmatched. The only difference is just 12 points. So you need to focus and get better score for the CK to improve your chance for the match. You need to get good score. Now you only have a score for the CK and for step 3. So focus on getting better score for those. Try to work and apply early. So if you are in the medical school, you need to take your USMLE step 1, hopefully before finishing your medical school or very early after that. Then within a year or two, you need to apply, because if you pass, couple years or especially 5 years of graduation, it's getting very hard for those to match. Clinical rotation is important. Electives are more important than observership, but observerships are better than nothing. So focus on having at least 3 to 6 months of clinical rotations in USA. The place you're living in during the interview season is important. Try to stay in USA for at least couple months during the interview season. Both your address in America, try to contact the program, but don't be very annoying. Don't call them every day, but try to do your best. Try to improve your CV. Do research, either clinical, which is better, or basic research, but it has to be publishable research. Step 3 exam opened the door for you to apply also for the program that only accept H1 visa, and also getting H1 visa will help you not to do a waiver or go back home after doing your training. Reach out to the program. Personal communication is very important. Contacts is very important in America. Getting good letter of recommendation and doing better in your interviews is very important. Don't try to avoid any gaps in your CV. Try to avoid typos and grammatic errors. Applying for more than a specialty, especially in the same institution, is bad. And also, non-achievable research is bad. So try to be successful in your research. Also, try to have your specialty, focus on your specialty. If you're applying to neurology, try to have at least couple of clinical rotation in neurology, try to have maybe some research in neurology. Don't focus on neurology and at the same time apply for OBGYN. That's bad. It's not going to help. Bad communication skills. So also doing rotation at USA programs and centers will help you to improve your communication skills. You need to do your best. The match is competitive and competition is not bad. Competition actually will help you to improve your performance. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And I hope the best for you and hopefully we'll see you in America shortly. Thank you so much.